Folks, I have a force of nature with me today. I'm telling you what, she is on fire. It is so true. Here's why you want to listen. You want to listen because I know you have merchandise, you have packaging that you need, and Randi is the queen, and she's going to explain about this. But Randi, talk about you. Talk about Just Call Randi. Give us a little bit of your story.
I'll be glad to. It's one I know. Just Call Randi is a brand design agency. And we say we're a brand design agency for ACEs, advisors, collaborators, and entrepreneurs. Carrie, I have spent decades, and I use decades because they sound shorter than years, but I have spent decades working with big companies, big clients, where the people who loved us weren't the people who paid us. And I have spent time loving my work and not loving my job. And it took me the last, 7, 8 years to really shed the old shells to create a new environment. And the tighter and tighter I got, and I realized I got to play with people like me. I've got to create for people who create. So my gigantic goal, I named my company Just Call Randi. I did that because the people who want, I don't know what to do, just call Randi, she'll know. Years. And finally, I got smart enough to say, well, perhaps I should call the company that. But if you're going to call your entrepreneurial business Just Call Randi, you better have a unique ability team around you.
Wow.
To quote the Captain Dan Sullivan.
That's right.
So that's what we're doing. It's a tight, creative group. We work only with people who are ready to make their brands, their marketing foundation. Brand design is the foundation under all this marketing. People spend money on Google ads. They spend money on social media. Those are concrete investments. But they say, oh yeah, I have a logo. Yeah, I have my logo. I have my stuff. I made this in 2010 and this in 2018. And I don't know did we even make this? I mean, what we do is we pull all that together and I become like the brand doctor.
Ooh.
And what we do is people fill out this, what we call it is my brand design symptoms quiz. They go through and they take this quick little yes/no quiz online that says, you know what? I'd like to learn more. You know what? I have somebody who does this. So we can get a quick read on where they are. Then we meet for a 45-minute brand checkup. And we have a conversation where we decide which path might be the best for them. Look, I don't care if they take that. Well, I do. I don't care. That path information is valuable whether they work with our company or not. The idea is, should you be on a project, what we call a fast fix project structure, or should you be on a deep dive retainer structure? And it's two different paths of working with us.
Yeah.
And what that means is that they get to either say, you know what, I'm over the year, I might do my PowerPoint, I might do my whatever else I need, redo my website, Randi, but they do it in sporadic little intervals. And for some companies, that really works. They have a huge golf outing. That's a project, those kinds of things. But then there are the ACEs who are really ready to think through that brand design strategy because they're spending money on marketing.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to, if they're smart and they hear me, they're also going to invest in IP. Here's the challenge. You have created things, not you per se, but when people have created their brand, usually when a company starts, it's somebody's brother-in-law's daughter who's in art school.
Yep.
Who makes the logo. Or today they go on Fiverr, or they do a variety of things because they have a low investment threshold. Okay. And what happens is that becomes cemented into their brand identity. And some people choose to name their companies with their name. Some people choose, in my advisor client universe, everything says so-and-so financial services, so-and-so wealth advisor. Yep. I mean, there's not a lot of differentiation.
Yeah.
And what brand design does is it pulls together all the disparate things Companies are already great. They're already doing well. Brand design helps them do better.
That's
Brand
good.
design pulls it together so that when you have a new, perhaps you bring in a new advisor, or perhaps you bring in a new biz development person into your company,
Yeah.
they go on Drive or they go in your secret server
Mm,
and they pull something. They don't know it's not the most current generation.
right.
There's so many pieces out there that what we do is we collect it all, we assess it all, and we shape it all. That's what you do on a deep dive. That's what you do when you want to work with us on a retainer program, because that way you're paying the same amount every month and the peaks and valleys don't impact you.
Yeah.
My advisors love that because they can plan. Some of my more creative entrepreneurs say, oh, here's a bucket of money, go make things. We like them. But the reality is it does not matter how people start to do their brand design
Sure.
refresh. And I call it a refresh because there's not anybody walking around who's running a business who doesn't already have a brand.
That is the truth.
So
Oh,
they
yeah.
have it. What we do is we elevate it, enhance it, refresh it,
Yeah.
and we put it on a priority structure. On the deep dive, we figure out how they all work together.
Right.
The story I tell people is when there was a supermarket in Chicago years ago, and they wanted to refresh their brand. And what they did, and I was working with the designer who was doing it, and he told me this story. I was young. He told me this story, and he goes, Randi, when you refresh a brand, I never forgot this. He goes, you do it incrementally. And when I refresh the brand of this supermarket, where do you think I'm going to introduce that new identity first? And I rattled off, oh, the front of the store, the this, the that. And he goes, delivery trucks. I start with the delivery trucks so that people are, in those days, there was no social background. You couldn't post it on Instagram.
Sure.
He said, my trucks will drive all over the city. And by the time I put that up on the front of the store and on the supermarket bags, everyone will think they'd already seen it. It's like a gradual release.
That's good.
And a gradual elevation.
Yeah.
So that is what we do, and how IP fits into all of that is very important, because if you're going to invest, first of all, you want to differentiate. You need to differentiate in today's competitive world. I don't care what industry you're in. You do things differently. You do things in your own fingerprinty way that's just yours.
And we call that IP.
I certainly call that IP.
Yeah.
And the point is, what made me magnetically attracted to, instant IP is the fact that it aligns so perfectly with what we help our clients do. And the roadblock for us was the roadblock that everybody else has, which is traditional copyright, traditional trademark. I mean, I can put copyright, all rights reserved on any substrate. It doesn't mean it's protected.
That's right.
I can use TMs like a salt shaker, and goodness knows for years I did. They used to call me the TM queen. Oh, if you say it out loud, Randy's going to put a TM by it. Well, so then I realized I understood IP. I didn't have a tool for it.
Yeah.
Now I do.
Now you do. And I'm so glad you do, because I would say you are a force of nature, like I said about the intro, but TMs are fine. But like the lady in California saying TM the same time you are, who's right? Who was there first?
There's no proof in the pudding.
Yeah.
There's no
Instant
proof.
IP, it's like, boom, it's smart contract. We got it done. So you're one of these people who we had a chat 4 weeks ago, and you're like, hey, tell me more about instant IP. I had zero. Seriously, I was like, I'll take the call. Yeah, Randy's cool. Like, we were at Coach Con together, and we've hung out, and all of a sudden it's like I could see on the call you were getting it, and then you're like, well, I want to be an advisor. So now you have clients who are using it. We won't say his name, but somebody on Friday got 50 credits. They get it. So how did you go?
And they need it. How did you
go from IP in the head to now like love it, sharing it, advisor, clients are now getting it. Now you're even putting it on products soon. So like, tell us the evolution, because I think you must be a quick start.
Oh, darling, my green line is running off the page. But the reality is I also have enough red and blue. For those of you who don't understand Colby, that means I am enough of a researcher and enough of a process person to understand that there are certain steps. The beauty of instant IP for me as a quick start entrepreneur is the fact that I literally can do it as part of my creative process. I have 3 quick things I want to tell you about IP. One is, you had asked me before, and have you ever gotten burned? Well, I would like to be a pirate for Halloween. I don't want to be a pirate because I have to protect something someone pirated from me. And that happened to me. It happened to me. We had a product company. We no longer do. But I had set up this product company as this self-managing company. I had a leadership team. The joy here was, instead of Randi and the team recreating ideas every day, you know, when you're a service company and you're in creative services, your inventory goes down your elevator every night. When the idea that we could create an identity and a product once and then sell that product 10,000 times without Randi having to touch it, that was an amazing idea. It was a great concept.
Pretty cool.
Well, it didn't work. And it didn't work for a couple of reasons. One of which was, as an entrepreneur, sometimes we stay too long at the fair because we are obscenely loyal and we think we can fix everything. I say, Randi Brill, if any of you have read Atlas Shrugged, I was the Dagny Taggart. I stayed because I was sure I could get it to work. Guess what? Some things shouldn't work for reasons that have nothing to do with you. I learned that the hard way. But what I learned was, we had this series called Positive Postcards. We worked on products for teachers to help kids get ready to learn. We did not do educational content that we sold because those were our clients. I would never compete with them. So we created the things that help teachers be motivated and help kids be inspired. And one of them was this amazing series of Positive Postcards. And they sold for $12.99. And you could get 50 postcards for $12.99. We had our registered trademark. We had every piece of protection we could. And one day, and we sold on Amazon. And one day, I would always check what comes up when I search postcards, what comes up when I search. And guess what? A company totally ripped off directly every word, every color. I mean, they did not have our sense of typography, but no one buying it would have noticed. It just irritated me. But the reality was, they stole it. And they charged $9.99 for it. So they gave them 40. They charged $9.99. That was under $10. I couldn't compete with that. I reached out to my legal team and said, cease and desist letter. I'm not going to the mat, but let's scare them a little bit. They couldn't find anywhere to send it. And so that gets to the second piece that entrepreneurs do. You said something where you said, you know, I worry that if we can't protect our ideas, people will stop creating, and that's bad for the world. Well, some entrepreneurs go the other direction, and that's even scarier.
What's that?
When you are a creative entrepreneur, and I don't know many who aren't, but I make stuff, so mine's really out there. You take my stuff, Carrie, I'm going to feel bad. I'm also going to feel flattered. And then you're going to push me to best that stuff because that was so yesterday. And I have this wealth of creativity. I'll just invent something else. Bad idea. Because now with instant IP, I have locked that vision in. And that becomes the timestamp. But when you have, I mean, nothing was as serious as the pirating that you had. But the reality is it doesn't matter. If you learn from it as an entrepreneur, you're 1,000 steps ahead of anybody else because you don't have to learn it again.
That's right.
So that was a motivator for me. When you ask me why, that's why it was so clear. Because had I been able for $97 to protect every single one of my postcards in English and Spanish, it would have been a no-brainer. All I had to do was sell 8 packs of postcards to break even. You know, I mean, it was actually, it would have been 28 because Amazon would have taken their fees. But the reality is, when you are a creative entrepreneur, you think you're invincible, that you'll just create
Mm,
more. It's not fair because you're selling your value short. When you
that's right.
don't protect your IP,
Mm,
you're shortchanging you.
yeah.
You are saying to the world, here, help yourself. I'll make more.
Wow. And
Hi.
let's talk about that cost too for your team. If your team's always creating new because oops, somebody stole that, so now we got to reshift. We got to reshift. There's a cost.
That's why I shut the company.
Yeah.
I shut the company and I had 37,000 pieces of inventory left.
Wow.
37,000. You know what I did?
What'd you do?
I donated them. I gave them, no, they were supposed to get in the hands of kids and teachers.
Wow.
So I opened it up nationally and I said, if you want these, I'll split the shipping with you. And
That's
we
cool.
sent them to schools and organizations and 501c3s, and we got it out in the world. That was my choice as an entrepreneur.
Mm,
That was important.
you turned it into good, like you always do.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, but I didn't have this tool then. And I know people are going to get sick of me and they're going to start saying, instead of TMs, oh, there's Randi, the IP lady.
That's right.
But if my voice
Mm,
can help other people become inspired to do
yeah.
this, I'm out there.
Yeah.
I'm going to do that.
Well, we both read the report. I mean, the S&P 500, over 90% of
90.
yeah.
90.
Yeah, of a company's value is in their IP. But I love what you did. You take what I do and make it better. And I mean that in a serious way.
Oh, you mean my silly graphics?
I'm going to bring it up because
Oh, good.
because this is
because we're going to share these out.
Well, and this is what honestly, this is what you do. So I want people to see this because I took the content was good. The
content was excellent.
Yeah, the content was good, but the design wasn't. But then I want to show you what we have with Randi here.
Why don't you start with your 45? Just hold that up to the screen and then we'll show mine.
All right. Yeah.
Before Randi, after Randi. That's what people say.
You know it. And again, nothing wrong with this, but how much treasure is hiding in your business? Pretty bland,
Well, it was also how many pages? 9 pages.
Oh yeah, that's true. Look at the layout, right? And then now let's go to yours. Oh my gosh, this is so good. Hang on one second. I have to download this thing. While I download this, tell me how long this took you. How do you think
to create this?
Yeah.
This was Friday evening. After my day had settled, I was like, I am itching. We're revamping our website and I have a section there about IP and I wanted a graphic that would quickly tell people. And there it is.
So good.
And, so we're going to do a little IP protecting on that before it goes officially out in the world. Give me 10 minutes after this call.
Oh yeah, don't worry. We're recording this, so everyone's okay. Yeah,
I know. But look at the difference. It's scannable. It's all in one place. One of the things I thought about doing was putting little check boxes, but I wanted to honor your 45 because if I go through and I say, oh yeah, I have processes, customer loyalty. Wow, I never thought of that one.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody's going to do 14 and 15 and say, oh yeah, I have a copyright, I have a trademark.
Yeah.
What is that? I can protect my domain names. I mean, my slide deck, all of those assets are protectable.
It's good. Yeah. Put a 46 and with a question mark if you want, because honestly, like there's going to be more innovation. I mean, AI agents, like who knows what they're going to, apps.
Oh, I know.
Drone, your own personal drone. I don't know, whatever. But we're going to keep creating. And so IP is going to keep being created. I love this. Couple thoughts here, Randi, as we land the plane. On purpose, I want to really promote people going to you as a certified advisor because
thank you.
Yeah, because my gift to the world is not to do harvests with everybody. Like my gift to the world is get the tech out and now train the advisors, and the advisors are going to go change the world. So if somebody says, I resonate with this lady with red glasses and amazing hair,
Here, I'll take them off. So
there you go. Yeah.
yeah, there we
So,
go.
so if they say, I resonate with her, what can I do to just call Randi? Literally,
Just call Randi and go to Let's Talk and just fill out the form. Or there's a phone number there. How can you have a company called Let's Call Randi without a phone number?
Yeah.
Or I am just Randi at justcallrandi.com.
That's so
you
good.
You can reach out to me. I would, no pressure, be honored to have a conversation with any of you.
And it's Randi.
Yes, sir, it is. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, Randi, this is amazing. I'm so glad that you are taking our coach, Dan Sullivan. He kind of got that into our head, right?
That's
about IP, and you're taking it in your way. I'm taking it in my way. And I think we're going to just launch so many people out in the world. And folks, I wanted you to meet her, see her, and now contact her, because she's going to take you to the next level. So Randi, last thing I would say, you get the floor, 60 seconds. What would you say to somebody who's not today, I'm going to delay, I'm going to just wait till I have everything perfect? What would you say to that person?
It's always, you only need 3 feet of track in front of you to be ahead. If you start, if it should feel scary and overwhelming, don't be afraid of that. Get somebody who can help guide you. That's what advisors are. We're guides. We're helping you navigate. And one of the things I'll say to people is, before you start worrying about even your brand identity, let's protect your vision. Let's start with the routine. I mean, I sit with people and I will walk them through on sharing their screen how to click. Once they do it, it'll be like riding a bike. And I never rode a bike, but I can do this.
You can do it. Randi, thanks for being here today and being that blessing to all of us.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you, my collaborator.
That's right.